Thanks very much for inviting us, talking us into being here today. The biggest thank you to the two ladies here beside me, Eileen Clark and Joan Hamilton, who are one of our befriending matches for coming the whole way. Yeah. So I suppose, Eileen, I'm going to start with yourself, and just to ask how you came to use the Good Morning service. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. My name is Eileen, and I am blind as a result of a car crash. And the reason why I have gone to Befriending service was my daughter was on maternity leave, and I had nobody. And so I had home health care in the morning, nobody else after that. But my social worker for blind told me about the Good Morning service. So I contacted them and had no time at all. I had somebody up to take me out to do shopping and all that. So I think it was the best thing that ever happened in Donegal was the morning service. So I was very lucky. I'm very happy to have that person to me shopping. So
that's great. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you. And Joan, over to you. I suppose what inspired you to be a befriending volunteer?
Can you hear me through the mic?
Yeah.
A little bit closer. Hello, everybody. I'm Joan. I'm 2 years retired now. And just 2 years before I retired, I had cancer and I had chemo. So when I retired, I thought it would be great if I did the volunteer driver. So I phoned the Cancer Society, and they had no vacancies. So then I was reading the local newspaper and saw the advertisement for Befrienders. So this interested me because my mother looked after my father for 15 years, and she had carers in, she had meals in the wheels, she had Good Morning service, but she always said, I would love somebody just to come to see me, because they were always focused on Daddy and he was total care. So when I read the advertisement, I said, I'll do that. So
that's great. Brilliant. Now the next few questions, pretend I don't know the answers. So how long do you know each other?
we know each other about 18 months.
Yeah, 18 months, yes.
Yeah. And on the befriending visits, I suppose, how often do you meet, and what do you do on the visits?
We meet every 2 weeks, every second Thursday, and Joan takes me out shopping, and then we go for coffee to a local cafe called the Gap, and I really look forward to Joan coming every recording.
And I have a chat. And then the night before, I phone her just to make sure everything's okay, that the time suits and all. And then we meet up the next day and set off.
And I remember, Eileen, when we first met, you were saying when you go with one of your children to do the shopping,
yes,
it's all very rushed, it's all very focused on getting back to their children,
right,
and that you feel there's no time to actually, to just, for it to be relaxed and to pick your things. Yeah, we also found out when the ladies were telling me they go to Gap Coffee, which is on the Donegal dairy border, and we were doing a volunteer review session, and during it, every second volunteer was saying they go to Gap Coffee. And I was like, are all the befriending matches all going to Gap Coffee? Yeah. So I suppose, Eileen, as an older person living in rural Ireland, do you feel you face more challenges living at home or aging at home than somebody in a town or in a city?
Of course, I think being at the home in a rural area, it's very lonely. It can be lonely for I myself. I'm lucky enough because I may not have anybody during the day, or sometimes I have my own family after the finish work, and Debbie's there some of the time. So I'm not too bad. But I know for certain that anybody living in a rural area on their own is a very lonely place to be, because normally they have a home health coming in the morning, half an hour, and then after that, nobody. So, you know, being lonely and being in isolation can cause, you know, you can get depressed. And the good thing about the good morning service, as they phone these people every morning, and they can call and visit them or to come out to appointments or whatever. And I think, I can't praise them enough because they've brought me a lot of help. And I know they not have a lot of people in Donegal that would not be able to travel out themselves because there's no transport. And nobody calls around now the way they used to do years ago. Years ago, people were very friendly. It was a community thing, and everybody called visiting. And there might be 20 people in your house at night. You don't have to be invited. But I think that's what helped people then. But that's no longer happens. But now, with the morning service, I think it's the biggest thing that happened. Help people out.
Thank you. And I heard about transport as well, transport in rural Ireland, would you see that?
That's just what happens, there's no transport. If you look far away from the road, then you might be a bus maybe half a mile away from where you live, and there's no way of getting there if you're not able to walk up or anything like that, you know. But definitely, it's definitely neat.
And Eileen, we were around in the house there last week just having a chat and, you know, going over what the questions would be. And Eileen, you said a sentence that really stuck with me. You spoke about the loneliness of blindness.
Yeah.
Just maybe if you could say just a few words on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I had that accident, and then all of a sudden I found out that I was going to be blind. It was hard to take it at the beginning, you know. But as time went on, I got used to it. But there is a loneliness in it because you can't actually see anything. All you hear is the television or the radio or something like that, or people coming in. And maybe the children are coming in and showing the photographs. You can't see them. But they're, you know, like it makes you, that is a lonely existence, you know. But I go out about and try to get as many sport teams like conference building and all that sort of thing. It was on in Derry, and I go to that. But behind it all, like, there is a loneliness behind.
Thank you, Eileen. And Joan, I suppose from your perspective, what are your thoughts on the challenges for older people in rural Ireland? And then I know you're coming from the context not as just a befriending volunteer, but you also do the local Meals on Wheels as well.
The difference with Meals on Wheels is you just deliver them because you have to have them at a certain temperature. So you're just in, give the meal, and then way off because the last meal has to be above 65 degrees. Well, older people have more challenges now in the rural area because there's no sense of community, because community is going through different things, one of them being immigration. Another thing being that cost of living is so high, so it takes two parents to work now, and then childcare. So grandparents now do the childcare because it's quite expensive. So the people that would have been doing the visiting is no longer there. They're very busy. Everybody's very busy. And I have to look in the window now. Also, local shops are disappearing, post offices as well. Even the postman used to call and he would chat, but now he's been timed. Well, he's in a hurry. And so that as well. And then old people have health issues, so they have to get to the GP, outpatients, and the doctors and all. So there is a big challenge for them. And then I've got down here, isolation also brings loneliness. So that's me.
No, and what we see a lot when I'm going around doing the befriending assessments and in a show, a big issue is that in a couple, one is often driving to Dublin to work Monday to Friday. Dublin, maybe Scotland, maybe England. So then the partner left at home will be doing the child minding, but then also looking after the older parents. So that's something we'd see a lot. And a reason for a lot of our referrals. So Joan, then I suppose as well being a volunteer in rural Ireland, are there any challenges to volunteering?
Well, I haven't met any, but there would be one that would be the distance. But when you're writing out your application form, you write down what area you'd like to visit in, and you normally would pick an area it's close to, what days suit you, and then our coordinator, she matches you up, and then she gets an area that would suit you. Now, she wouldn't be sending you away 50 miles if there's somebody looking for a Befriender near you, so I never found any difficulty, but the distance could be one, but so far none of us have noticed that.
Yeah, and it can be for us as a service, I suppose it can be a challenge sometimes if all the volunteers are applying for one area, but all the referrals are from a completely different area, so that can be a big one. And then also finding an area that suits for volunteer meetups, because if we're looking at, I coordinate in Joan, which is the size of County Louth, so when you're looking at one place that suits all volunteers for a review meeting, it can be quite tricky. So then I suppose the final questions, just Joan for Eileen. Yeah. So what difference do you feel that the visits from Joan have made in your life?
Oh, all the difference in the world. Because I look forward to Joan coming, and she has great patience, and I tell you, because she takes me around all the shops and takes me around shopping, and she has great patience and looks after me very well. And I really like her company, so I enjoy her company all the time.
Love it. Perfect. Thank you. And Joan, what about?
Well, when you think of a friend, you always like to see a friend. Well, I like to see Eileen. I like her company, and also I learned something as well that I didn't know, that some blind people, that they dream, when they dream they see colour.
That's right.
When Eileen's dreaming, she sees everything in colour.
I do. That's true. That's
So
wonderful.
we learn from each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if she learns much from me, but I
I learn plenty.
No, and I suppose just from me as the coordinator, and I'm sure the other coordinators here can relate to it, that you know when you're setting up a match and you're going, yeah, fairly sure this one's going to work. I think this one's going to be a good one. But I know the two ladies was like, no, I've got a really strong feeling on this one, and I'm just so thrilled that I was right. And even coming up in the car today, the chat and the banter, and just how well they get on. So. But I suppose that's it from. I don't know if anyone else has any questions, or if that's okay to put that out. If anyone has any questions for the ladies. Yeah,
Brian from Malone, how are you? Nice to meet you all. I'm just wondering, in terms of for somebody with sight difficulties, is there much support from the likes of NCBI or HSE services to try and manage and get by? Or?
Well, the NCBI helped me a lot as well, you know.
Right.
And they taught me how to do the iPhone.
Oh, very good.
So
I can't.
Brilliant, thank you.
I was talks to you, see, so it's very good, it's very easy to do. I can go on the internet and phone people and send texts and all that. So they taught me a lot. And I go on to dairy as well, to cognitive and stuff in classes. And I was in the drama and as well. So I try to get out of the bike and make life as normal as possible.
Yeah, we link a lot with the NCBI, so they send us a lot of referrals, and it would be for, like, some of them would be walking, so it could be an older person living alone in a rural area and they just want to get out for exercise, so that would be part of the visit. Right, I suppose just from the coordinator's perspective, another issue come up for us is it can be difficult to get volunteer applications. And definitely getting volunteers is a problem for us, and we have to substitute it with TUS and CE schemes to be able to meet the demand for the referrals that we get. So we have a few workers that link with us on Befriending. And another thing I've seen come up is I suppose volunteers can be very concerned at the training and the interview part with what other members of the community will think they're doing this for. So if they're maybe seen out with Tommy, but people know that then Tommy having a connection before this, you know, how that might be viewed. And the biggest topic that we talk about in the training always comes back to confidentiality, because in a rural context, people, seem so afraid that they're going to break it and accidentally break it, or that they'll, just where that line is. So that's something that's much stronger than when I would have been involved in befriending in Dublin. Yeah. But look, I think that's just to say an absolute thank you to the two ladies.